Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new day. Welcome to the Playmakers Podcast with your boy, Darnell The Playmaker Sallins out here from Jacksonville, Florida. And today on this episode, we're going to talk college basketball. It's been a little minute since I did college basketball. I feel obligated to give y'all some college basketball. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk college basketball. We're going to get into the top 25, We're going to talk about the Florida Gators, as I always do when I talk college basketball. I'm going to give you some regular season picks, who I think is going to win each conference for the regular season before we get into conference tournament play. We're going to relive some of the big moments that happened in conference play so far. And that's pretty much it we're going to do for today. And by the way, we're going to get ready for the Big 12 ACC challenge that's going to happen Saturday. So we also going to get ready for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it with something that happened. That was not a good look for college basketball. The ending of the Kansas State-Kansas game where the ball was stolen, I think by Antoine Gordon, stole the ball from De La Sola, who rejected the layup, being up by like 20-something points at the end of the game. The game is pretty much over. And then a fight broke out between the two teams. That was not a good look for college basketball whatsoever. D. Silva, he picked up a chair and looked like he was going to hit somebody with it, but an assistant coach grabbed it out of his hand, thankfully, and nobody was very happy. Look, okay, you mad, you got the ball stolen for you even though the game was over, so you blocked the shot. Then you stand and taunt the man. Almost like, you don't try me like that type stuff. You don't do that, man. You just don't do that. It's not a good look. You was already in trouble when you came into Kansas because of some ridiculous money thing. I don't even want to get into that because the NCAA is ridiculous with this whole money thing, but it is what it is. But nevertheless, you came in having problems with the NCAA, and then you do this. Like, can you fly under the radar for a while? Can you stay clean? In a lack of a better term, can you stay clean? You already got the NCAA on you now. They're going to be on you more. So it was just a bad look. If you didn't see it, I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube or ESPN or whatnot, or how this all happened. But you should have seen it and heard about it by now because everybody talked about it. At first, the Kansas Jayhawks and Bill Self and them, they suspended their 4-star for indefinitely. The day after, which will be on Wednesday, the Big 12 handed out their suspensions. D. Silva, he has 12 games. Somebody else from Kansas was suspended. Matter of fact, David McCartney, he will see 2 games. On the Kansas State side, James Love got 8 games, and Antoine Gordon, he got 3 games. So 4 players got suspended. Should, in my opinion, could have been a lot more, but it is what it is. D. Silva, he released a statement on Twitter saying that he acknowledges that he made a mistake, highly unacceptable behavior, and that was a poor representation of his team as well as his own character, which is true. Like, dude, you can't do that. You cannot put yourself in that position. Not only you put yourself in that position, but you put Kansas in a position. You put the Big 12 in a position. We're going to see if the NCAA going in and hand down a suspension or add more to it or not. But you got the minimum of 10 games, which is pretty much what most people would agree. You got 12. So you got the minimum plus 2 more, which most people would agree, because you can't do that. You can't do that. I don't want nobody to talk about, well, you can do it in baseball, you can do it in hockey. This ain't baseball. This ain't hockey. This is basketball. You can't do this in basketball. You just can't do it. Hopefully, during these 12-game suspension, you will get your head together and be ready for the Big 12 tournament, because Kansas is going to need you for the Big 12 tournament, because the Big 12 conference is looking pretty good this year. I will get into that in a little bit later. But right now, I decided to get that off my chest for these first 5 minutes. That fight between Kansas and Kansas State, that's unacceptable for college basketball. Moving forward now, with that being said, let's dive into what has taken place this season. You know, a lot upsets has taken place, and it amazes me of what is going on. Just this week, matter of fact, the 20th ranked Memphis Tigers, I'm going to go ahead and throw them out there already. They just got beat by Tulsa by 40. Tulsa has beaten Penny Hollow and the Memphis Tigers 80-40. What happened? I don't know. But that's right there tells you how crazy this season has been. You had so much more upsets that you have ever seen in your life this season. I think we're up to like 14 top 10 teams beaten by unranked teams. 14 top 10 teams beaten by unranked teams. That is ridiculous. It blows my mind of how open and non-dominant this basketball season has become. We might be in room for more because when Saturday gets here, the weekend gets here, you could have some more because this SEC Big 10, the Big 12 Challenge, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Since I started off with Memphis, let's go ahead and just dive into the top 25 here. Baylor's number 1, Gonzaga's number 2, Kansas is number 3, San Diego State, the lone unbeaten team at 20-0, are number 4. Florida State is at 5, Louisville is at 6, Dayton's at 7, Duke is at 8, Villanova's at 9, Seton Hall is at 10. Let me stop right there. Gonzaga, San Diego State, Dayton, Villanova, Seton Hall. 5 teams. Half of the top 10 are from non-power conferences. Just saying. Let's see. San Diego State, the lone beat team, as I mentioned. Gonzaga is going to be Gonzaga no matter what. Dayton is super good. I can't wait for Dayton. If they can keep this up and make it to the tournament, I want to see what seed that they get because this team is that good. This team is that good. This team could be fighting for a number 1 seed. I'm telling you this right now. Dayton could be fighting for a number 1 seed. All right? Seton Hall. Ever since conference play came about, Seton Hall has been on a mission. Villanova, they getting their act together. Let's go 11-20. At 11, Michigan State. 12, Oregon. 13, Butler. 14, West Virginia. 15, Kentucky. 16, Auburn. We're going to talk about Auburn in a minute. 17, Maryland. 18, Texas Tech. 19, Iowa. Memphis at 20. We just talked about Memphis losing by 40 to Tulsa. Auburn took a L at Alabama, went into Gainesville, and got controlled by the Gators in the second half. I'm going to dive more into that game when I talk about the state of the Florida Gators, but Auburn struggling a bit. We see if Bruce Pearl can turn that team around and get that team back on track. Kentucky, a little up and down right now. West Virginia, they're getting back to being West Virginia now. You starting to see a lot of turnovers being created. They pressing you. They not letting you score a lot. You in a dogfight with this team. And West Virginia's learning how to win. Keep that in mind. Butler has struggled of late. And I don't know. I don't know if conference players getting to them, they getting a little tired or whatnot. But they started off pretty good, you know. They was going into the A10, I believe. No, not the A10. They was going into conference play, you know, with some momentum. And then conference play, they beat Florida. They beat Florida. And then they go into the Big East and, you know, they struggling a bit. You know, Seton Hall, I think Seton Hall already beat them. I think they lost to Villanova already. Let's see. Seton Hall beat them. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Seton Hall, DePaul, and Villanova. Villanova just beat them by 15 just the other day on Tuesday night. Back on Saturday, January 18th, they lost by 13 at DePaul. And then they lost at home to Seton Hall by 8. Butler's on a losing streak here. They next opponent happens to be today, Friday, on the 24th. They got Marquette at 9 o'clock. What y'all gonna do, Butler? Y'all, Marquette. I just finished watching Marquette the other day control Georgetown from, not Marquette, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong game, my bad. Marquette, they starting to get their rhythm in. Who was that? Who they beat the other day? That I watched that game. They controlled that game. Because, matter of fact, it was St. John's they controlled from start to finish. They beat St. John's 82-68, but who was St. John? The Georgetown game I'm thinking about was the past weekend on the 18th when it was at Georgetown, and Marcus Howard dropped 41. He had half of the team's points against Georgetown, and Georgetown couldn't do nothing about it. The Big East is out this world. Between the Big 12, the Big East, I might throw the ACC in there because ACC is one of the true powerhouses, conference and college basketball. In the Big, those 4 conferences, I'm gonna look at going forward because I want to see how many teams they get in from the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the Big East. Those are the conferences I'm looking for. The SEC, that's my conference. My Gators in there, but Kentucky, Auburn, Florida, those are 3 you look at. LSU. Yeah, LSU might get in there. Alabama, they on the borderline, Arkansas looks good, I ain't gonna lie. South Carolina, they borderline. Georgia, borderline. We'll see though. But let me get back to the top 25. Just finish it out because from 21 to 25, we have the Illinois fighting the line. Illinois is coming back. That's a good sign. Arizona Wildcats at 22. Colorado at 23. 24 Rutgers Scarlet Light. The Rutgers of Scarlet Light are ranked in the top 25 for the first time. Who knows how long has it been since you've seen a number beside Rutgers' name? Big 10, trying to tell you. Big 10, better look out. Rutgers. And then rounding out the top 25 is the Houston Cougars. So let me see. From the Big 12, Baylor, Kansas, West Virginia, Texas Tech. That's 4 right there. Let's go to the ACC. Florida State, Louisville, Duke. That's it. You got 3. From the Big East, Villanova, Seton Hall, Butler. That's 3. From the Big 10, Rutgers, Illinois, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan State. They got 5. Pac-12 got 3 in there. The SEC got Kentucky, Auburn. That's about it. The American got 1. Then you got Dayton, Gonzaga, San Diego State. That's your top 25 list right there, man. That's a lot. There's no parity. There's a lot of parity in basketball. There's no dominant team in basketball. Gonzaga hasn't lost since they lost to Michigan in the Maui tournament, but they still picked Baylor over them. Baylor only lost 1 game, but they lost to Washington. This is what it is right here. There's no parity whatsoever. You have to see this from my point of view. When the NCAA tournament is set, have your upset bracket ready because there's going to be a lot of upsets coming. I heard one analyst, I don't remember if it was on ESPN or was it on Fox, that said he has 3 mid-major teams getting into the Elite 8 and possibly the Final 4. 3 mid-majors. Dayton's a mid-major. If you want, you can say Memphis a mid-major. San Diego State's a mid-major. Is that the 3 he talking about right there? Gonzaga, they're in a mid-major conference. They just a team that's dominant. So that is something to think about. That's something to think about right there. I mean, you already had Stephen F. Austin already went into Cameron indoors and took down Duke early in the season. I mean, what else we got? What? Belmont on the rise, Buffalo, UC Irvine, Yale, Harvard. I mean, Winthrop coming out of Northern Illinois. I mean, there's a lot. There's no parity in this season. Anything and anybody can get beat at any given night this season. So let me hold it off right there. We're going to take a short break. And when I come back, we're gonna dive into my Florida Gators. We'll be right back. The Playmakers About podcast with me, your host, Darnell The Playmaker Sallins, and my co-host, Dallas Gunn. You can catch us 2 to 3 days out the week, whether it's on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. We are on iHeartRadio, we are on iTunes, we're on Spotify, and many other platforms there is out there for your podcast and radio. We talk football, we talk basketball, we talk wrestling, whether it's college or professional, WWE or AEW. So subscribe to the podcast as we are now with Raise the Flag Productions. Check us out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome back into the now. Let's dive into the state of the Florida Gators here. So just to recap real quick, we went into conference play 8-4. We had losses to Florida State, not good. UConn, we lost to Butler on the road. Lost to Utah State. I wasn't pleased with this Gator team and Mike White. Kerry Blackshear, the grad transfer. Nemhard running the team. Johnson still there. Then you got a good recruiting class. Scotty Lewis and Noah and we got some people. We got some talent. Trey Mann. People's looking forward to this season. That's why they picked you preseason number 6, and then within 4 games you went from 6 to unranked. Even though it's not the fact, it's not your record, it's how you lost. You lost to Florida State bad. You didn't look good against UConn. You tried to look good against Butler and Butler pulled away. You lost to Utah State in your backyard in Miami, Florida. I mean, but that was non-conference. We get into conference play. Now we're getting into conference play. You start off good. You open up against Alabama. Double overtime, but you pulled it out. Now I was not pleased with the performance of the Gators, but you pulled it out. You pulled it out. 1-0 in conference. I'm not gonna bash y'all. You struggled. Hey, matter of fact, I take that back. I am, because I just remember Jimmy Dykes was calling the game, and he made this statement that irritated me. He said the Florida Gators are having problems handling the speed of Alabama. The Florida Gators having speed control problems against Alabama. That set me off. How is it a team in the state of Florida is having problems with Alabama speed? But there's no other there. Yeah, they got the win. They got the win. Nemhard went for 25, which we all needed. Blackshear had 16. He had a double-double. They got the win. They got the win. You follow that up. You handle business. Nemhard dropped 21 against South Carolina in a dominant victory. 81-68. Good victory. Dominate one. 2-0. You're 2-0. You're 2-0 in conference. You got a good start. And then you go to Missouri. The Missouri Tigers put it on you. Blackshear actually scored 22 points in that game. But yeah, you lost 91-75 to Missouri. Missouri. What the hell happened? What happened? Let me tell you what happened. You got drilled from Jump Street. I believe this team shot like 80% from the field. They was not missing. Drew Smith with 22 points. and 6 assists. These dudes shot 61.5% from the field and 63.2% from three-point range. The Florida Gators shot 38.5% and 43.5% from three-point range. You got your behinds whooped. In Missouri. That's called it what it was. It was an ass whooping. That's what it was, an ass whooping. You was down 51-36 going into halftime. And you couldn't make it up. You got your ass whooped. In Memphis. In Missouri. Columbia, Missouri. You got your ass whooped. You suffered your first loss. Yeah. What more? But you bounced back. You bounced back against Ole Miss. And you handled them 71-55. Okay. Johnson dropped. We had 15. More of a team effort on that one. You know, not when you see your leading scorer on the half 15 points, you're not up in the arms. You're not. It's a team effort. The team came together after that butt kicking that they took at Missouri and handled Ole Miss. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you do it. Keontae Johnson, 15 points. Blackshear added 13 in a very nice bounce back win. So even though Ole Miss was on the man, they didn't have their best player. But hey, you gotta play who's in front of you. Florida shot 54% from the field to Missouri's 40. Hey, 3-point terrible, 23.1 to 18.8. Both teams are terrible from 3-point range, but you handled your business inside. Showing 54%, that's good. That's damn good. So you handle your business, okay. Good win. But that the same night, Auburn suffered their first loss of the season to Alabama. And guess who we got to play next? That Saturday on January 18th. The fourth ranked Auburn time is coming to Gainesville. Oh boy. How is this going to go? How is this going to go for the Florida Gators? I'm not impressed with y'all so far. Y'all look terrible. I don't care what the record says. You're not a championship team. You look sluggish. You look authentic. You look just terrible. Mike White, this is your fifth year. This is your fifth year coaching the Gators. You got a nice recruiting class. And what is going on here? Here come Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers. Lord have mercy. They just suffered their first loss to Alabama. They are not pleased. They are pissed right now. Okay, we're going to get to the game. 28-23 at halftime. Florida's up 5. Not looking good, but you got the lead. Can't complain. You got the lead, but it's 2 halves. What you going to look like in the second half? And when I tell you, the best performance from the Florida Gators this year was the second half against the Auburn Tigers. Nationally televised game on CBS. 41-24 in the second half to beat down the Auburn Tigers 69-47. And a surprise player. One of the players from the recruiting class that I keep talking about. Omar Payne played his best game he has ever played in his. Not only best play he's ever played in his basketball. Y'all can say college career because I don't know how he played in high school, but this is his best game he ever played in the college basketball, period. The number 4 ranked team is in your building, and you the one that show up. 19 points, 11 rebounds. My goodness, he showed up in a big way. Leading rebounder, leading scorer. Good job. And then he had help. Florida shot 50% from the field. They went 1 for 2 in shooting to Auburn's 1 for 4 because they shot 25.5% from the field. This is the Auburn Tigers we're talking about. Shooting poorly while the Gators are making half their shots and only Auburn's making 1/4 of their shots. And then the second half became a 3-point barrage. 47.1% shooting from 3-point range, and Auburn shot 17.4 from 3-point range. Shooting, stay consistent. 3-pointers went up. That's how you manhandle and you beat down a top 4 ranked team in basketball. That's how you do it. I rebounded Auburn 44-29. That's what you do when you have a team that's highly ranked come in your building and looking to make a statement. You made the statement. That's how you do it. Well performed. Great performance by you guys. Great performance by you guys. But you got to follow that up. How do you follow that up? Because the very next game, you go from the Auburn Tigers at home to Death Valley to take on the LSU Tigers. You lose that game 84-82. You know what? You had a 2-point lead at half, 36-34, and then, LSU outscored you. 50-46, they outscored you. But what I will say this, though, I don't like the fact that they lost, but I will say this. They showed me something. They showed me something. They was down 10 points. Under a minute to go. I think it was like 55 seconds to go. And they was down double digits. Keontae Johnson just didn't get the ball off in time to send the game in overtime. So, wait. So, we are under a minute. You're down double digits. You got it to 82-84 LSU, and there's like 0.5 seconds left. So, in a 55-second span, you almost erase a 10-point deficit. Just like that. Y'all showed me fight. Y'all showed me the will to not give up until the final buzzer. And I respect that. That now I can get behind this team. Now I can get behind this team now. Because that is what I needed to see. Because y'all could have easily, Mike White and the Gators, they could have easily said, hey man, we down double digits under a minute. Hey man, let's just call it this and get ready for Saturday. Because Saturday is a big game. It is what it is. But y'all did what y'all did. Emmett Williams from LSU scored 19 points. Skylar Mays had 18 and hit some free throws at the end of that game to help get them the 2-point victory. Hey, give it up to LSU. They handled their business. They did what they did. You got to give it to them. 14-6 on the season. 14-4 on the season. 6-0 in conference play. That's your top team in the SEC right now. Give it up to them. But the Gators, y'all showed me fight. That's what I wanted to see. Thank you for the fight. Y'all shot better than LSU. It's just they out-rebounded y'all and they had more free throws than y'all. Florida shot 50.8% from the field to LSU 47.5. 3-point range, Florida shot 36.7% to LSU 14.3. But you got out-rebounded by 10, 38-28 to LSU. Things happen. But now, we got to shift gears to Saturday. Big 12 SEC Challenge. I'm not going to say who we playing, but it's a big game. Matter of fact, it's the nightcap of Saturday. That tells you how big it is. It's primetime match at 8 o'clock. ESPN. We got to win that one. It's the big, besides the LSU game, the Auburn game, this is the biggest game of the season. Until we get to Kentucky. This is the biggest game of the season until we get to Kentucky. And then after that, Mississippi State should be able to win that. At Vanderbilt, that's tricky, but I like your chances versus Georgia. That's going to be an interesting game on February 5th against Georgia. That's going to be interesting to watch. I'm going to see if I can watch that game. That's going to be interesting to watch against Georgia. You got Ole Miss again. They might have their best player back for that one. At Texas A&M, then Vanderbilt again. Arkansas. That's a game to watch. When you play Arkansas. Then you at Kentucky for round 1. You got another meeting with LSU. This time it's going to be at Gainesville. We'll look out for that. Tennessee. Woo, got to play Tennessee. That's usually a rivalry game. We'll see how that goes. You're at Tennessee and you're at Georgia before you finish it off against Kentucky. So, you have an opportunity here. You still have an opportunity to make the tournament. You might not be a first round knockout team after all. As I said on numerous times on social media, you might win the first game. Well, who are you gonna play in the second game? That's the question. Because how this season's going, anybody can get beat on any given day. I'm just throwing that out there. But what I saw against LSU to close that game out, even though you lost, showed me a lot of heart. That's what I need to see. Coach White, get these boys ready for Saturday. Because they're in prime time action at the Old Dome down in Gainesville, Florida. We got the number one team in the country coming in. We got to win that one. We got to win that one. A win against number 4 and then number 1. That will definitely have the committee look at Florida and say, they're in. They're in. The question is, can Noah M. Hart, Kerryon Johnson, Kerry Blackshear, Coach White in this game, can they do it again at home? That's the question that I have for the Florida Gators. So far, you have a mixed resume that could be borderline and might get you in. Because you beat Auburn. That's a good win. But if you add number 1 to the list, boy, y'all almost no denying you at that point. So, next up, SEC Big Ten Challenge. You got runnable games against Mississippi State and at Vanderbilt before you play a tricky Georgia team. A tricky Georgia team who almost caught Kentucky. So, just be up for that. Be ready for it. You don't know what might happen. It could happen. Now we're going to take a break at this point right here. And when we get back, we're going to look at the SEC Big 12 Challenge. Because, boy, on Saturday, it's going to be a good day of college basketball watching these games. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Darnell The Playmaker Sallins. I want to take a moment to thank you guys for listening to us at the Playmakers podcast. Just to let you know, if you're listening to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, why don't you go ahead and leave us a review. Tell us what you think of the episodes that you listen to, what you think of the podcast in general. If you listen to, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Castbox, or any other platforms that we're on, follow us. Download the episodes, let us know any kind of way that you want to let us know, if it's on our Facebook page, the Playmakers Blog Podcast, or on our Twitter page at Playmaker Stuff. Just let us know, because we enjoy interacting with you guys and we want to show our appreciation. So follow us, like us, let us know how we're doing, and thank you for listening to the Playmakers Blog Podcast. All right, people, we are back, and let's look at what Saturday's gonna look like, because Saturday's a big day. We have the Big 12 ACC Challenge ahead of us all day Saturday. Just one day of all the games. 10 games featuring the Big 12 versus the SEC. So we're going to kick it off with the Missouri Tigers on the road to take on West Virginia, the 14th-ranked Mountaineers of West Virginia. We got a game to look at, y'all. So, West Virginia, they rank, they pressing. They are pressing. My question is, does Missouri have the shooting capacity to handle what's going to come their way when they meet up with West Virginia up in the West Virginia Coliseum? Do they have what it takes? Because this right here it's gonna be a game. I think I'm gonna take West Virginia in this one, because when Bob Huggins, when he has a team that knows how to press, you're typically not gonna win that game, typically, unless you just have a crazy behind shooting performance and it's like, wow. I like West Virginia. I like West Virginia in this game. So I'm gonna go with the home team, West Virginia, in this. That's 12 o'clock. Also at 12 o'clock, we got Iowa State at Auburn. 16th-ranked Auburn hosting Iowa State Cyclones. I'm going to be honest with you. Iowa State, they can play. 500 right now. They can play. They can play some games, but you at Auburn. Auburn is not losing 3 in a row. I just don't see Auburn continue their losing streak. They gonna get back on track on this. So like, yeah, I got Auburn in this one. Probably Auburn by double digits. I got Auburn by double digits. I'm gonna take them. And then we get to 2 o'clock. One of the matchups I'm looking forward to seeing. LSU Tigers going to Austin, Texas to take on the Texas Longhorns. Ooh, it's going to be a good one. You know, Shaka Smart is doing his thing down there at Texas like he did when he was at VCU. Bruce Wade, Will Wade, he continued got the Tigers rolling for LSU. That, like we just talked about in the previous segment, they just beat my Gators by 2 points. You know, that's gonna be a fun one to watch. Ooh, you know, I'm leaning towards LSU, but Texas though, man, Texas. That's on ESPN, by the way, 2 p.m. ESPN. So whatever's on ESPN before that game, that'll be good. But you know, I'm gonna take LSU. I'm gonna take the road team on this one. I'm gonna take LSU. I'm gonna take LSU in that one. I think LSU will do just enough to get by Texas on the road. And then also at 2 p.m. on ESPN2, you have Oklahoma hosting Mississippi State. I'm gonna take Oklahoma in this one. I'm not going to dive too much into it. You know, Mississippi State, yeah, they all right. They solid. Oklahoma it is too, but I think Oklahoma's a more better solid team than Mississippi State. So I'll take Oklahoma. You know, I'm gonna take Oklahoma. And then we get to our 4 o'clock window. In our 4 o'clock window, we have TCU is at Arkansas. You got 13-5 TCU and 14-4 Arkansas. This looks like it'll be a very good game on ESPN2. That's after Mississippi State and Oklahoma. This game could go a long way for either team. But I like Arkansas at home. I like Arkansas. So give me Arkansas. And then also on ESPNU at 4 o'clock, Oklahoma State is at Texas A&M. 2 teams borderline tournament, 500, 9-9 each way. And looking for a nice win to be put on a resume, you know. I think I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to take Oklahoma State at home. Oklahoma State on the road. I'm going to take the Cowboys. Is there something about Oklahoma State? You know, their programs are not up echelon in sports, but you know about them. Just like Texas A&M, you know about these teams. They're not the upper echelon, but you know about them. Problem is, I think Oklahoma will do just enough to escape a road win on this one. But the big one at the 4 o'clock, and this is where College Game Day will be at. They'll be at the Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. Yeah, you know, we discussed what happened with Kansas and stuff like that. The Kansas Jayhawks, as number 3 constructed right now, they are bringing in the Volunteers of Tennessee. I ain't gonna lie. Before what happened to Kansas State, I already had my mind circled. I was picking Kansas. Now that the star player for Kansas is suspended, kind of changes some things because Tennessee, they starting to get their stuff back. They not back, but they getting their stuff back. The Rick Barnes, he's doing a good job over there in Tennessee. This one's gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one to watch. Man, what? Even though they're solo suspended, I don't think I can pick against Kansas. I don't think I can pick against Kansas in this one though. Oh my goodness, that's hard. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Kansas, man. I don't see myself going against Kansas. They at home. They gonna want to rectify how they last game went. Yeah, I gotta go Kansas. So the 6 o'clock window, where we have the Kentucky Wildcats on the road to take on the Texas Red Raiders, 15 versus 18 on ESPN. Oof, Texas Tech ain't the same team that lost a lot of stars. So did Kentucky, as always, because they always get a one and done people. So that's what happens when you go to Kentucky. You get one and done, and you lose out on talent a lot. Texas Tech lost out on a lot of talent from that national championship appearance team last year. Runner up in the national championship Final Four team. You know, I'm looking here and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm going to take Calipari. I think this is where Calipari shows why he always will be a Kentucky Wildcat. His team will find a way to pull this out on the road. I got Kentucky in this one. And then the other team that was a part of that brawl against Kansas that we talked about earlier, the Wildcats of Kansas State, they are on the road to take on Alabama. Yeah, I'm going to pick Alabama. I'm not going to waste time. I'm picking Alabama. So that's 9 games right here. And I got West Virginia, Oklahoma, Kansas, Oklahoma State. I got 4 right here for the Big 12. And I got Auburn, LSU, Arkansas, Kentucky, Alabama. It's 4-5 SEC way. And then we get to the nightcap. 8 o'clock ESPN, the top ranked team in the country. 16-1 on the season. The Baylor Bears are at the Old Dome. They take on the 12-6 Florida Gators. Don't worry, I'm gonna be objective on this pick. I'm gonna be objective here. So, one team only lost to Washington. They went into Kansas and then they beat Kansas with all their players. Florida, up and down, signature win at home against Auburn, who was ranked number 4 at the time. Where do you go on this one? This is a tough one to do. I love how my Gators fought. I love how they played against LSU. I love it. They showed me fight. They're going to show fight in this one. Oh, they're going to come ready to play. Mike White going to have this team ready to play. Problem is, Baylor's ranked number 1 for a reason. Baylor only lost 1 game for a reason. Baylor, Gonzaga, San Diego State, Dayton, the teams that I'm naming right here. It's a reason why you looking at these teams and it's like, where did y'all come from? Because, these boys are balling. These boys are for real. These boys are coming. But you are at the Old Dome. You have never seen. You thought Kansas is going to be rocking when y'all come in. Y'all weren't ranked number 1. Y'all played Kansas. I think Kansas was ranked number 1. Kansas was ranked above y'all when y'all played them, and when y'all shot them at home. That's y'all first win ever at Allen Fieldhouse over Kansas. Y'all, I don't think y'all never been to the Old Dome. Y'all don't know what it's like to be with them fans, boy. The Rowdy Reptiles of Gainesville, Florida, as Dick Vitale like to say. I think Dick Vitale actually calling this game. Is Dick Vitale? I gotta find out Dick Vitale call. I think Dick Vitale calling this game because I think Jay Billis is calling the Kansas Tennessee game. So I think Dick Vitale might get this one, or it could be Jimmy Dice. It don't matter. But the Rowdy Reptiles, y'all come ready to rock and roll at the Old Dome. The number 1 team in the country is coming in, and Florida needs this more than anything. Florida needs this game. I'm going to go with the Florida Gators, which says the SEC is going to win the Big Ten SEC Challenge 6-4. I could be wrong. I mean, hey, I could be wrong. Hey, people might say you still pick with your heart over your head when you're picking Florida and you got the number 1 team in the country. Hey, I understand. But you can't go undefeated on the road forever. At some point, you're going to lose a road game. You got a big one at Allen Fieldhouse. You got a big one. So, yeah, you're going to come in ready to roll, but you're the number 1 team in the country. And so far, number 1 teams have not looked good. Except for Gonzaga. Even though I feel like they should still be ranked number 1. But, hey, I don't do the top 25. That's the AP. That's what they do. So, they want to put Baylor at number 1. Good for them. But Gonzaga should still be number 1. They haven't lost since they lost to Michigan in the Maui tournament. Let's be for real. So, that's just how I feel about it. But nevertheless, I'm going to stop right there. Because before we close this out, I want to give y'all my regular season picks for each conference. I did it last time, but I ain't do it properly. I messed it up. I ain't do it properly. So we're going to go through and we're going to pick our regular season champions for each conference. So let's do that with the minutes we got left. And we're going to go in order. So you will have every pick, every conference is in order. The American East Conference, as of right now, Vermont is in front at 4-1, tied with Albany at 4-1 in conference place. Stony Brook is 4-2 right behind them. You got Hartford at 3-2. But I'm gonna roll with Vermont. I got Vermont winning the American East. The American Athletic Conference, like we just mentioned, Tulsa is leading the conference at 5-1 right now. After that 40-point victory over Memphis that we discussed earlier. James Wiseman, that's kind of hurting them. But I'm still gonna roll with Memphis. I'm still gonna roll with Penny Hardaway, even though they struggling in conference play right now. Even though Houston is at 4-1 in conference, Cincinnati's doing their thing. Wichita State, SMU, yeah, they doing their thing. But I'm still going to roll with Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers to win the American Conference. This is just the regular season. Tournaments, when we get to the tournament time, I might change picks. But this is just the regular season conference winners. So I'm picking Memphis to win the American. Then we get down to the A10. I'm rolling with Dayton. Yeah, Richmond's there. Rhode Island's there. St. Bonaventure's there. VCU's there. All of them are there. I'm rolling with Dayton. Ever since I watched them at Maui, I'm just looking at Dayton like, just tell me what seed Dayton's gonna get, so I know what kind of game I'm looking forward to. Dayton in the A10. Dayton. The ACC. I'm rolling with Louisville. I'm not changing that. I'm rolling with Louisville. They are top the ACC at 7-1. Florida State right behind them at 6-1. Duke is 6-2. Virginia Tech 5-3. NC State and Syracuse are 5-3. The defending champs, the UVA Cavaliers 4-4. It's been a rough year for those, but not so rough. But not as rough as it is for Ward Williams and the North Carolina Tar Heels sitting at 1-6 in conference play right now and 8-10 overall on the season. The North Carolina Tar Heels are at the bottom of the ACC. Yeah, I just said that statement. The North Carolina Tar Heels are at the bottom of the ACC. Now, let's move on to the Atlantic Sun Conference. Liberty. I like the fact that North Florida, the Ospreys, they are sent there 4-1 conference play, 11-9 overall. I like it. I like the fact that I was there when I went to the campus when they made a tournament. I was there. I went to the campus and watched the game with the student body. I had a lot of fun up in UNF during that time. But Liberty, oh my goodness, Liberty is just on another level. Liberty is on another level. No way. I can't do it. The Big 12 Conference. I'm taking Baylor. With the suspension of, the star of Kansas, I got. Even though I picked Baylor to lose to the Gators, I'm taking Baylor. I'm taking Baylor to win the Big 12, man. I'm taking Baylor. Look out for West Virginia. Look out for them. TCU, they might make some noise, but I'm taking Baylor. I'm taking Baylor to win the Big 12. Big East. This is a hard one because right now, Seton Hall is 7-0 in conference play. Villanova's 5-1. Creighton 4-3. Providence 4-3. Marquette 4-3. Butler 3-3. Xavier 2-4. Georgetown. Every team in the Big East has double-digit wins. Seton Hall 15-4. Villanova 15-3. Creighton 15-5. Providence 11-9. Marquette 14-5, Butler 15-4, Xavier 13-6, Georgetown 12-8, DePaul 13-6, St. John's 12-8. The entire conference of the Big East is all double-digit teams. They might get the whole conference in the tournament, but I still got to pick a run. I'm picking Villanova. Villanova will do enough to get past Seton Hall. That's just how I feel about it. Taking Villanova. The Big Sky Conference. You got Montana, 10-8. East Washington, 11-6. Northern Colorado, 11-6. Southern Utah, 11-6. Portland State, 10-10. Sacramento State, 10-6. I'm gonna take my town. I'm gonna take my town. I'm just gonna roll with the Grizz. They on top right now at 6-1. I'm gonna roll with the Grizzlies in the Big Sky. Big South Conference. Winthrop. I've seen them play before. I've seen them in conference before. They on top right now. Radford right behind them. Presbyterian right behind them. But I like Winthrop. I like the Eagles to get back in the tournament. I'm just gonna go with it. Big Ten tournament. I mean the Big Ten conference, not Big Ten tournament. Michigan State 6-1 in conference play right now. Illinois Final Nine at 6-2 right now. Iowa Hawkeyes 5-3. Maryland Terrapins 5-3. Rutgers 5-3. Wisconsin 5-3. Indiana 4-3. You got Minnesota and Penn State at 4-4. All of a sudden, the Jerron Howard and the surprising Murray tournament winners of Michigan are 2-5 in conference play for an overall record of 11-7. What's going on there? Even more surprising, that's at 2-5. It's the Ohio State Buckeyes. They are now 2-5 in conference play, and their overall record is all of a sudden 12-6. So you had Michigan going to conference play 9-2. Ohio State came into conference play 10-1. Both are 5-2 in both are 2-5 in conference play right now, and they are sitting at 11-7 and 12-6. While Michigan State 14-2, Illinois 14-5, Iowa 14-5, Maryland 15-4, Rutgers 14-5, Indiana 14-4. Jerron Howard, you better right the ship quickly, sir. Better right the ship quickly. Because we're almost at the end of February. I mean, almost at the end of January. February getting around the corner. Michigan State Spartans will win the Big Ten. They still got Cassius Winston. And I'm going to roll with Tom Izzo. The Big West. UC Irvine, Hawaii, CSU, Northridge, UC Riverside, UC Davis, Cal Fulton, Long Beach, and pretty much the Californias and Hawaii. That's pretty much the Big West. And guess what? I like UC Irvine. I just like UC Irvine. That's what I'm rolling with. It don't matter. I'm gonna take UC Irvine in that one. I want to see the Indians back in the playoffs again. That's what I want to do. I want to see can they pull off what they did last. Now they can pull off what they did last year. They're already 11-9, so. But they won 30 games last year. They probably get to 20. They ain't gonna get to 30. They'll probably get to 22. But I don't want to see UC Irvine back in it. The Colonial Athletic Association. I looked at this and surprisingly, Remy Mary 14-6. Charleston 12-8. Houston 14-6. Drexel 12-8. I just the name out of my head and I took Drexel. I'm going with the Dragons of Drexel. Been a while since I seen Drexel in the tournament. I like to see them back in the tournament. So we're gonna take Drexel. We're gonna see how that rolls. Let's take Drexel. Conference USA. Another one I just put out of the hat. Put some names in there, put out of the hat. We're gonna take Western Kentucky Hilltoppers at 13-6, 6-1. Tied with No Texas Mean Green at 6-1 in conference play, but 12-8 overall. Louisiana Tech 13-5, Florida International 13-6, Florida Atlantic 12-7. Hey, UAB 12-7. Hey, Conference USA doing some things. The Horizon League, dude. Ain't no putting the name out of the hat. When you see a team that's 17-4 overall and another team 14-6 overall, what more do you want to look at? Bump Youngstown State, bump Milwaukee, bump Green Bay, bump Cleveland State, bump Oakland, bump all of them. Northern Kentucky and White State are the only two teams I'm looking at from this conference, and I'm taking White State with a 17-4 record. They doing something right over there, and I think they're gonna keep it going. Ivy League, pretty much even though Princeton is 2-0 with an overall record 6-8. That's not gonna last. So it's usually between Yale and Harvard. This time I'm taking Harvard. Yale got in last year. I'm taking Harvard this time. They like to go back and they like to take turns in this stuff. So Yale got in last year. Matter of fact, they played in Jacksonville. I was at the game. I watched the game. I think they played LSU and they lost by like 1 point, something like that. I'm gonna take Harvard. Metro Atlanta Athletic Conference. Give me Monmouth. Just give me Monmouth. The Mid-Atlantic Conference. Give me Buffalo. Somehow they starting off 4-2, but somehow, some way, Buffalo will find a way. They get past Bowling Green, Akron, Boston. They'll get past all of them. Buffalo. The Mid-East Athletic Conference. Give me Norfolk State. Matter of fact, shout out to my best friend, Linda Campbell. Gotcha. Norfolk State. I got Norfolk State. I like to see Norfolk State in the tournament. Shout out to you and your husband. Y'all have fun. Norfolk State. I got them going into the tournament. Norfolk State winning the Mid-East Athletic Conference. Missouri Valley Conference. I seen Loyola Chicago on there. I see Bradley. I see Drake. I see Vaspo. I see these teams, but I look at Northern Iowa and I'm just like, I just got a feeling Northern Iowa was going to win this conference. I just got that feeling, Northern Iowa. Oh, I just got a feeling Northern Iowa over Loyola Chicago. Great story, but I got Northern Iowa. Mountain West, a 20-0 team, is in this conference. That'll be San Diego State. Who you think I'm going with? The Northeast tournament, the Northeast Conference. Ooh, give me Robert Morris. I'm taking Robert Morris. Ohio Valley. I almost pulled it. The Ohio Valley Conference. I almost pulled Murray State, but I did a last-minute switch. I'm going with Belmont. I'm taking Belmont to win the Ohio Valley. I'm taking Belmont. But remember, this is just the regular season. Conference tournament is different. This is just regular season. Conference tournament is different. But I'm taking Belmont to win the conference. Pac-12. Give me Oregon. I was on Arizona when I first did it. I switched it. Give me Oregon. I don't care. USC is 4-1, Stanford's 4-1, and they sitting at 15-3 and all this good stuff. Give me Oregon. Peyton Richard will have these boys winning the conference. Trust me on that. Patriot League, Colgate. Colgate's 15-5, and the next closest team will be Lafayette and Navy, and they both 11-7 overall. So give me Colgate. Give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders. Southeastern Conference. I didn't take Florida. I didn't take Kentucky. I took a Tiger. And it's not Missouri. I took the Auburn Tigers. I thought Bruce Pearl would get this team together. They will start getting on a hot streak like they did last year. And they're going to win some games. LSU, 6-0 start. That's not bad. That's a damn good start. Kentucky right behind y'all, 5-1. Then Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, they all 4-2 in conference play. But I just got a feeling Auburn is going to get it together. Briscoe going to get that team together, and they're going to come back, and they're going to win the conference. They're going to win the Southeastern Conference. I got the Auburn Tigers. Charles Barkley, you're welcome. The Southern Conference. Give me East Tennessee State. Give me East Tennessee State. I'm going to see them navy blue or purple jersey, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to see those jerseys again. I'm just going to see it again. The Southland Conference. Stephen F. Austin, man. Stephen F. Austin. Dude. This team beat Duke and Cameron indoors. Sam Houston State. I want to see y'all try. Nicholas. I want to see y'all try. Abilene Christian. I want to see y'all try. Those three I just named. That's about it. Other than that, Stephen F. Austin. Southwest Atlantic Conference. I think I took Texas Southern. Yeah, I took Texas Southern. And that the Summit League, South Dakota State. Sunbelt League, Georgia State Panthers. West Coast, of course. I'm taking Gonzaga. What other team would I take? It's the West Coast. Mount St. Mary's been trying to beat them for the longest and still haven't done it. BYU been trying to beat them for the longest and still haven't done it. Mount St. Mary's, nah. St. Mary's, no. BYU, no. Pacific, no. Santa Clara, no. It's Gonzaga. The West Coast Conference belongs to Gonzaga, and will forever belong to Gonzaga until Mark Few retires. And then the final conference, Western Athletic Conference. And I looked at this and I said, hey, I see New Mexico State at 14-6, California Baptist 14-5. The next closest team is Seattle. They 10-10. Okay. New Mexico State Aggies. I'll see y'all back in the tournament. Those are my regular season conference champions. Vermont, Memphis, Dayton, Louisville, Liberty, Baylor, Villanova, Montana, Winthrop, Michigan State, UC Irvine, Drexel, Western Kentucky, Wright State, Harvard, Monmouth, Buffalo, Norfolk State, Northern Iowa, San Diego State, Robert Morris, Belmont, Oregon, Colgate, Auburn, East Tennessee, Stephen F. Austin, Texas Southern, South Dakota State, Georgia State, Gonzaga, and New Mexico State. There you go. Every conference, regular season pick winners right here, right now. Mark it down. Thank you guys for spending your time with me today. I appreciate it. And if you haven't known, we are on Sports Talk channel right now. If I can catch our episode earlier today that we went over the recap of the conference championship, both AFC and NFC. That was fun. We got one more episode to do. We got to get ready for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. That's going to happen, and we're going to talk about some. We're going to talk about some NFC stuff because we got a new champion in NXT. But we're going to look forward to the Royal Rumble men's match, the Royal Rumble women's match, the title matches that are being produced, and some interesting other matches that was added that have no replication of the Royal Rumble, or do they? We'll talk about it. And other than that, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Anchor, all the platforms that we're on. The Facebook Playmakers blog on Facebook, the Twitter at Playmakers Duh. Get at us, holler at us. You want to get at me, Darnell The Playmaker Sallins on Facebook, Playmaker20 on Twitter. So, hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to doing more with you guys. Have a wonderful evening.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.